Family tree. Family tree, right? So this is the head of the family. Who's the originator of the family? So if currently what is the population of the world? What is the Earth's population currently? Let's consider it to be what, 700 crores. Okay. So if this 700 crores people are there currently on the Earth, okay, so they all have originated from one individual, that is Adam. Yes, no, maybe. So at whatever level we go, we all end up at one common ancestor. Maybe 100 levels, 200 levels, 300 levels, we will end up at a common ancestor. Yes. So the children of Adam, okay, the children of Adam, they inherited the DNA of Adam directly, correct? And we 700 crore people have also inherited the DNA of Adam, but via some level, right? Via 100 ancestors, via 200 ancestors, we don't know exactly, right? How many levels are there? We exactly don't know. But every individual on this earth has originated from Adam, correct? So directly or indirectly, the cycle will link up till there. So over here, Frank has inherited from, yes, Ben, and Ben has inherited from, and Alice has inherited from Adam. So everyone over here in this fin- family tree has directly or indirectly inherited from Adam, correct? So if Elizabeth has a child, he too will be inheriting the DNA of Adam. Yes or no? Let's say Peter, correct? So my question for today is this. My question is this today. This is my topic for today. So which is that class in Java from which all the classes inherit either directly or indirectly? See, John has inherited directly, right? So if I consider this as class Adam, then how will I write class John? Adam, correct? So John has extended from Adam directly, correct? Yes or no? So if class Adam has a public void home, what does class Adam assuming has? Which which function? Home method, okay? And that time the home was, let's say, simple home, right? Made of mud walls, and the roof was of tree leaves, okay? Palm leaves. So technology would have improved in John's era, correct? So John inherited the home from Adam. So here, what is John trying to do? Can anyone tell me? Some more, okay? Of clay, he might have made of clay, and roof he might have made of some other, okay, fiber. So what has John done over here? Can anyone tell me? Function overriding, absolutely. One word. John has done what? Function overriding. Because a function with the same name exists already in the parent class, correct? So what has John done over here? So how do you write over there? You put overrides, correct? You write override over there, correct? Not compulsory, but a good programming etiquette to write over there, override, correct? Okay. Then Tom inherited from extends. Extends John, right? Okay. Now, what if John also writes over their home? So what is he doing? He's also overriding, right? So Tom is extending from John, and John is extending from the function which all these are overriding is coming from which root? It is coming from which root? Class Adam, correct? So if class Adam, let's say, had a public void home and had public void, let's say, skin color. Okay, so whatever skin color. Then John would extend from Adam, correct? So he can also now override the skin color function. So now my question is, if Peter Peter extends from and always observe one class will have only one parent over here. You cannot have more than one parent. Okay, extends from which class? Elizabeth. Okay, whatever spelling. Now can Peter? Now what is Peter doing over here? Public void home. Any guesses? So if he's in the modern generation, he is making a concrete. So what is Peter doing over here? What is happening over here? Overriding, right? Because the function with the same name and same parameter is there in Elizabeth. Function with the same name, same parameter is there in Elsid. Is also there in Alice. Is also there in Adam. So yes. So when I write Alice extends Adam, Alice has got the home, right? And when I say Elsid extends Alice, then Elsid has got the home, right? And when I say Elizabeth extends, then she has got the home, right? So that is being passed. The DNA is being passed, correct? Okay. Now, if Alice also now she also now this is the modern age, so she also has a car. Okay, there was no concept of car all this while. So the car was invented by Peter. So what does Peter have now? So so car is Peter's method, right? So who will inherit car now? Peter's children. Pe- Peter's children will inherit, right? So Peter's so if Peter's children is Mike, so how will you write? Class Mike extends Peter. Now how many functions can Mike override now? He can override which all? Home also, correct? Making sense. Yeah. So now he can override two methods with the new implementation. With the new. So the car which Peter had was Ford. So he will make a new car. Okay, he will make a car called Fiat. Okay, that time these cars were there. Okay, and now he will have an apartment. Now the concept of vertical scaling started, and people have started developing vertical buildings. Okay, all this while was all horizontal. One besides the other, the houses were there. One house besides that, besides that, beside horizontal scaling. Now they started making apartments, one flat above the other, above the other. Okay, so apartment system came in. So what is Mike doing now? Override. Because why will I say over? Why will I say override? Is already there in the parent class, correct? Now, how many functions can Mike override? How many functions can Mike override? Two, right? As of now, just take over here, no? How many functions in Peter? So how many functions can he override? So if he wants to check a list of functions which he can override, he just has to enter over there in the class, come in the class and say control spacebar. Give what? It will give you options that you can override the car, you can override the home. Then whichever function you double click on, when you double click on car, it will give you a template of that function like this. It will give you a template that you can override the car. Like this template it will give you. Then whatever body you want to put, you can put inside that. And then when you click on home, it will give you a template that you can override it. So whatever functions are there in the parent which are public, okay, which are non-private, that all can be inherited, can be overridden. Functions which are what? Non-private and non-final. Because private will not be inherited, correct? So no question of overriding. Private cannot be. So when it is not inherited, there is no question of overriding because you override a function which is already there in the same, which is all this is there in the parent class also. So if the parent has not given you that function, means you have you cannot override. And non-final, the parent has restricted overriding. The parent has restricted overriding. Okay, so he cannot change that. So I'm getting. So my question is, in Java, we have a class called as object. Okay, so this is a bit of a paradox. A paradox is a statement with having contradictory meaning, like back to the future. This is a paradox. Means one statement having contradictory meaning. You go in future, right? You don't go back. You go back in the past. But what did he say? Back to the future. Any other paradox? Do you all remember? Child is father of man. Child is, so if you have a trending latest video game with the latest technology, if you give to the father will struggle to understand. But the son will understand the video game and will explain to the father what all features the video game has. So child is the father of man. Change is permanent. Change is, everything is changing, right? Day by day. Even now cells in the body are changing. So it is told that every year or every 2 year the entire cells in the body change. So what I was 2 years ago, I am is not the same me which I am right now. My all the cells have regrown and have changed. So change is permanent. So these are all paradoxes. Okay, you all can search for other paradoxes also. These are called as figure of speech. They are called as what? So when you all try to give any presentation, you all can include figure of speech to explain something. Okay. Then how you have proverbs, how you have simile. You know what's a simile? Simile means as good as healthy as healthy as a horse, as dumb as a light pole. Light pole doesn't listen, right? It is standing over there like a dumb person. People are going, passing, dog is urinating on him, that does nothing. As dumb as a light pole, okay? So these are called as your similes. Proverbs. What is proverb? A fool and his money are soon parted. Mean, what does this mean? Make hay while the sun shines. Means work hard when it is daytime, because once it starts raining, you will not be able to work in the farm. So make hay while the sun shines. So if a opponent has sent a weaker bowler to ball, so what does a batsman do? He tries to maximize his advantage, right? And I can extract maximum runs from this bowler because rest all the bowlers are comparatively stronger. So what will we say? Make hay while the sun shines. A fool and his money are soon parted means the fool goes another way, the money goes another way. They part ways very soon. So try to include them in your presentation or whatever speech you all prepare. So this is also a paradox. Object is a class. Object is a wherein classes objects are made from classes, right? But this is a class. By what name? What? Yeah, this is the super great grandparent class in Java. Super great great grandparent class in Java. All the classes in Java, I say all, okay, with a capital. All the classes in Java, either directly or indirectly inherit from from which class? Object. So those who are children of Adam, they directly inherited the DNA. John and Alice and Peter and Mike also have inherited the home and car, but via layers, right? From indirectly, from Adam, Alice inherited from Alice, Elsid, from Elsid, Elizabeth, then Peter, then Mike, but they too have got the DNA. Okay, so if there is a invitation, okay, a few months I guess ago or last year I guess it was, there was a very big fat Indian wedding of a very wealthy businessman in India, and he had invited all the celebrities across the globe. I will not take the name. I guess you'll have got the okay where I'm pointing to. So he invited all the celebrities, and they had performed on his son's marriage, and he had given what 1 crore, 2 crores, blah 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 to each celebrity, and had also gifted them some costly watches. Okay, so but were the common Indian invited? He might have employed, he might have invited his employees max to max. But did the invitation reach you all that I am going in that person's wedding? No, right? So if a person is writing an invitation and he says to Peter and family, so who all are invited? Peter and Mike, right? In this just let's talk about this diagram only. Peter and Mike. So if he is a bit more wealthy, he will say to Elizabeth and family. So he will go one layer up. Yes. If he is more wealthy, he will say to Elsid and family now. So now Elsid, George, Elizabeth, Peter, Mike. Okay. And if he is more wealthy, he will say what? And if he says, so if that wealthy businessman who has 19 news channels of his own run by his company, so if he would come on the news channel and say that I am inviting to Adam and his family, everybody. So what does this mean now? He is inviting entire mankind. Yes. So anybody who feels that he has a descendant of Adam, he's a human being, can come to my function. I have that budget and I have that arrangement. Yes, no, maybe. Correct? So every class will inherit from the object class. So if the object class has some functions, means they are passed on to all the classes. Yes, okay. So if I now come over here and say class student, let's come to the first class which we made. Now, is this class student inheriting from Adam directly or indirectly? Is any class, I'm saying over here, all the classes, whether user defined or predefined, all means all, user defined or predefined. When I say all means all the classes. So is this student class user defined or predefined? User defined. Programmer is writing it. Okay, those classes which are there in the JDK, those classes which are already there in the JDK, they are all what? Predefined. If not in the JDK, you add an external jar. You add a external jar to include those files. It was not a part of the JDK, but you added the external jars. So they all become what? Predefined. They all become what? Predefined. But the code which you are writing in Eclipse, that is what? All user defined. So if there is a predefined class called scanner, Does scanner class inherit from object? Yes. So if I make a class called student, do I have to write over there extends object, or will it implicitly do that? Huh? Directly or directly or indirectly, okay? Inherit from the class object. So now, how many functions have this class student inherited? All the public functions, all the non-private and non-final functions, right? Now my question is, how many functions can I override over here now? Just now, is it inheriting from any class? Is it showing class student inherits person? Is it showing over there? Okay. Let me give you all an example. So let's say class object has some seven functions. How many functions? Same function. If I do a control space bar over here, how many options will it show me? Seven functions, right? That you can override these seven functions. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now tell me what will happen now. So if I say class person and a class person has void function 1 and void function 2. Now how many options will it get? Now how many functions will it get to override when it say class student extends person? Yes? Yes, 9. 2 from its immediate parent and 7 from its super great grandparent, right? Because these 7 have come in person, right? So person has these two plus the 7 from object, correct? So now class student has, if he gives control space bar, he will see how many functions which he can override. Okay. Now what are they? Now what are the functions? Now this is a very important question for the interview room. Methods of which class? Object class. Okay. So did we study toString function? Did I show you all? I showed you all, right? So toString also is a function of object class. Which class? So it will return your string, right? What does it do? It returns the object. It converts an object into a string, right? Then we have seen the constructor, haven't we? But we also have a destructor in Java that is called finalize. That is called as what? This is a destructor of Java. This also is in which class? Object class. To compare two objects, you have equals method. Which method? This also is in the object class. Okay. We have the clone function also. If I'm not wrong, I have to just cross check this. Clone also is over there. Hash code also is over here. These are all functions of the object class. ToString, finalize, equals, clone, hash code. There are many more. Okay, so I'll just give you an example now. Is my programming skin visible? Yes, no, maybe visible, right? So this is a good topic to research upon. Which class? Object class. Day 17. Where is object class demo? And I'll just make a simple class student. Okay. Let's make a class of a student. So now, if I do a control space bar over here, what does that mean? So if I write over here public void display name, okay, just for the sake of it, and public void display address. So how many functions are there in this class? Two. So if a class extends student, if a class extends student, how many functions can it override? So class head boy. Head boy will be a student, right? So class head boy extends. Now how many functions can this head boy override? Two or more than two? Two or more than two? Yes. So if I give a control space bar over here, it will give me a list of all functions which I can override. List of functions which which I can override, right? Which can be overridden. So how many function names will it display over? Only two. Will it display me display name? Yes or no? Will it display address? And only those two or more than that also? So do a control space bar and check. So if I do a control space bar, you see control space bar. Getting it? So what it can override? First, it can override these two functions: display address, display name. Correct? They are coming from which class? And the rest: clone, equals, finalize, hash code, toString. They are coming from object class. So every class inherits from the object class. Getting it? Hence proved over here. So now if I come over here and I make this as public final, now will the name reflect over there? Why no? So which function have I made final? So will it show display address over here? Control space bar. Is it showing? Is it showing? It's showing, just showing display name. Correct? And as I double click on it, it will give me the entire skeleton of that overriding. You just have to write the body inside. This is the beauty of using ID. Got it? This luxury you will not get in Notepad. And your college will insist you all to use Notepad. So then you will not get this luxury as to which function is there in the parent class. And so lots of spelling mistakes are avoided if you use an ID. Getting it? So now your task for today is, what does these functions do? What does the object functions do? I've given you all one example. What does toString function do? Converts an object into a string. Okay. Equals, clone is for a hard. I had an also clone also I had explained you all. Deep copy. Clone is for deep copy of the object. It creates a deep copy, means a separate copy of the object, not a shallow copy. So you can make deep copies using how many ways? By using copy constructor and by using which method? Clone method. You can make a deep copy. Okay, so you all research today as to what is the object class in Java and what are the method of object class, and try to understand them. And you all can also research how many ways in Java do we have of creating a deep copy. So two ways I have told you. Which are they? Copy constructor, clone method. Clone method has comes with an extra overhead. you have to implement a clonable interface. So as of now, okay, you can skip that we haven't done it, so don't go into that. Just research on the methods of which class? Object class. So these are those methods which every class can override because they come from the original root. Getting it?